What is racism to you?
Racism to me is like the general presence of ignorance, and when people don't know enough about a topic to truly judge for themselves, and they just kind of follow the crowd with whatever is going on.
Hating a specific race, not just the actual person.
Racism to me is offensive words to a different race.
I think racism is making judgments about people without really knowing anything about them, just based on color of the skin or their ethnic background.
Racism is when you're judged by the color of your skin or you're just being around different types of race.
A prejudice or someone discriminating against you because of your race.
Degrading someone based on the color of their skin.
Racism is when two groups of cultures don't like each other.
People who judge people based on their skin color, where they're from.
Racism to me is treating one group of people differently than another group.
People being judged for their skin color.
Racism is basically being not lenient towards any other race, just preferring one over the other.
When one person is biased towards another religion or culture based on previous meaning.
Prejudice, stereotypes.
It's when you feel that one racial group is superior to another, just naturally superior to another, and that someone's physical characteristics define who they are rather than their personality.
Racism is the belief that all members of each race possess characteristics or abilities specific to that race, especially so as to distinguish it as inferior or superior to another race or races. In your eyes, would an ideal school be free of racism?
Yeah, because racism is simply hate. There's nothing good comes from racism.
Ideal, yes.
Yeah, there could be a school without racism.
Yes, of course.
Possibly.
Yes.
It never will be, but I guess yes.
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 Have you ever at school felt bullied or discriminated against because of your race?
Yes.
Sometimes people make jokes about my race. I know they're kidding, but sometimes it hurts.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. All the time.
Have you ever judged someone because of their race?
No.
No, I'm not one to judge because of the skin color or where you come from.
No.
Don't really believe in that, because that's not something you should judge somebody off of. It's not really by looks or appearance or anything. That's more who they are as a person.
No.
No, I try to be open. I feel like it starts with you.
I'm typically friendly with everybody.
No.
Have you ever witnessed an act of racial bullying and did something to stop it?
I've witnessed, but I don't ever got in.
Yeah, I pretty much just tell people don't say stuff like that.
Yes. I just let it be and keep myself out of it.
I have, but I did nothing at all to stop it.
I've seen people make fun of African Americans. I've seen people make fun of Indians and Pakistanis. I've seen people make fun of Mexicans. Yeah.
No.
Yes. I did attend to stop it. Just people nowadays, they don't really think about other people's feelings, so it's hard to stop.
Have you ever seen racism occurring in your classroom or in hallways at Northern?
No.
In the classroom, I would say it's probably a little bit more subtle. Blatant things probably in the hallway a little bit more, like statements, name calling, that kind of thing.
What do you think the root of racism is?
I'd like to say it's just people being really insecure. I think it's definitely there. It depends. There are some people that it's a feeling of superiority, but does that feeling of superiority come from the fact that they don't feel that good about themselves? They feel competitive or something like that.
The root of racism is a lack of empathy for other people.
Ignorance, not knowing the facts, not being aware of different cultures and things of that nature. And I think once people of all ages, young or old, have more information or knowledge about different cultures and backgrounds, then that'll help prevent racism and discrimination.
What measures are being taken to prevent racism in schools?
Well, I think we try to do a good job across the board of it, being very diverse and addressing any issues that come to our attention. So I, for one, and I believe my colleagues would say the same, if we are aware of something that's going on that's not equal or fair, then we address it directly.
Well, I think that we're trying to be a little bit more vigilant, you know, notice things, comment on things, follow up on things, you know, like HIV and things like that.
Here are some statistics. Racism in schools may no longer be quite so pronounced as it once was, but that does not mean that it is no longer there. Indeed, it is much harder to fight an enemy that you cannot see, and thus subtle racism in schools can be more difficult to spot and then to stop. 70.6% of teens have seen racial bullying occurring in their schools.
Bullying and discrimination are still happening in schools today.
Are you going to stand by and let it happen, or are you going to do something about it?